Beatport podcast.
For this podcast, we caught up with Mella Dee, a producer and DJ who is unapologetically himself. In the last 18 months, his label Warehouse Music has won Best Breakthrough Label at the DJ Mag Awards. Mix Mag cited him as a star of the year. He's put out his debut Essential mix on BBC Radio 1, along with sitting at number 1 in their dance charts. There seems to be no stopping him. I'm your host, Tiger Light, and this is the Beatport podcast in conversation with Mella Dee. Thank you very much for joining us today. Where are you Skyping us from today?
From West London.
You're originally from Yorkshire, right?
I am, yeah.
So
Exactly.
what is, for people listening abroad who haven't been to Yorkshire, can you describe what Yorkshire's like?
It depends where. It's said there's industrial in the sort of centres and stuff, and a lot of industries, mines, and then lots of nice green openness and stuff. We're a bit further out. Yeah, I mean that's the description of Yorkshire.
They're like old mines.
Yeah, it's like Doncaster. I just went to plug in my laptop because the power charger dying, and I unplugged the Hoover that I'd been on. Decided to.
Oh, I might keep that in because it's great. Crashing on. Anyway, so there are lots of mines there, but they're derelict because they're the mines that Thatcher shut down, or are they active mines?
No, they're the mines that Thatcher shut down. Like the last of them was literally just sort of closed, yeah.
When you were a kid, did you hang out as a young person there, or what are they used for?
It's just like that kind of industrial sort of place, and it's just like there's a lot of sort of little villages that are sort of built around industry and stuff like that. One time I did like security at when I was doing my Trident, when you're at school.
Yeah.
When you're like 16, and I worked for a friend's dad, and I did just lots of all sorts of dodgy jobs, to be honest with you.
What kind of things?
Like taking chimney off of like roofs in Barnsley and stuff like that. Like I feel like we kind of stole some security fencing one day.
This is for your mate's dad?
Yeah, it was just a bit, and then, we were for my mate's dad, but then the guys that he'd working for him it was like general odds and sods what they basically did. And I just did that because I knew that you got paid for it, whereas most people didn't get paid for Trident, and they did stuff sat in like Primark or some shit. When
you were doing this, were you learning about how to hustle in the music industry? Was this your training for being a DJ and a promoter?
I've just always been hustling without anything to do with music. It's just like I used to like sell when I used to work with my dad doing roller shutters and stuff. I used to sell scrap metal, anything, just to make everything a bit easier. Buy some records and stuff like that, or buy what I needed to buy, some trainers, whatever I needed.
So you were selling. How old were you when you were selling scrap metal, and where were you getting the scrap metal from?
Well, because we used to fit roller shutters, so that was from being until from 20 till 27. From most of the time that I worked for my dad. So if we took down the shutter or something for somebody, and we were putting in a new shutter, you have to get rid of the waste anyway. So long as I could be bothered to load it onto the van and take it to the scrap man, and then I used to give my dad a little cut of it, and then I'd get some money out of it. So
entrepreneurial.
Yeah, just about get what I need to get. Might as well.
Did you have people that were working in the music industry when you were growing up, or what kind of figures were around you?
There weren't any really. Just no one knew nothing about music in that sense around me. None of my family had even been to like university or anything, so that wasn't such a thing, and I didn't do that. Just listening to music and and then I had friends who sort of DJ'd. The friends who I met when I was a bit older who'd been to university, and they got into sort of DJing, so they had decks and stuff, and then that's when I was like, alright, that's how you do it all. A bit more.
What kind of stuff were you listening to? Where were you getting the music from?
Anywhere I could, but a lot of shops. I just used to buy music from shops weekly, especially because I've always worked since I was young anyway, so I always had like a little bit of disposable cash, so I'd just go into random shops and buy random CDs and stuff. Literally hip hop, dance, punk, all sorts of little bits and bobs.
I heard that you were listening to hardcore when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Like 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, I've
Where are you getting that from? I don't know that many kids that listen to hardcore at 8. I think that's pretty hardcore.
yeah, I think it's kind of at the time that I was that age, and just like the village that I'm from, like I say, because it's like a mining sort of, like quite a rough sort of village. It's it was just the music was just about, and I've got a sister who's like 3 years older than me, so she went up to like the secondary school whilst I was still in primary school, like before we left this certain area. So she just had tapes that had come back from people that she sort of knew at school, because that's what we're about. Especially in Doncaster, everyone loved hardcore and happy hardcore and stuff. So I just used to listen to my sister's tapes, and then I'd go buy them when I started being old enough. Like when my mum and dad would let me go to town by myself. There was a little record shop called Rhythm Nation, which I actually called something a project that I did years ago called Rhythm Nation. It was just a little record store, and they'd have like cheap tapes out of tape packs. So you have to get like a random tape out of tape pack. So it might, I couldn't afford to buy a tape pack, so I was only a kid. I maybe had a couple of quid, but I'd blagged. So I'd just pick up random tapes and just take them home and listen to them.
And hope you didn't get Mike and the Mechanics by accident.
Yeah, we definitely weren't quite that. They were all little tape packs from. They would all be like from Uprising and like
Helter Skelter.
And like Viber Light and stuff like that. So I knew it was going to be something. Normally probably someone like Dougal or Hixie or Sai or some stuff like that.
So your sister, did she start going out to raves to like the Doncaster warehouse? Like, was she leading the way, and then you went, yeah, this is interesting?
Yeah, I mean, she still were only young at that age. She weren't even going there. She was just always been into music and whatever. She always went clubbing and stuff, but she didn't as such go. She didn't go clubbing like the way that I sort of just took up clubbing, where I was just like, this is me, I enjoy this a lot. Like I'll go all the time and I'll go everywhere to do it. So, but definitely like the music taste and that, she used to just have different stuff, and I'd listen to that along with whatever I was listening to, like especially when I got more into hip hop and stuff.
She sounds like a cool big sister.
Yeah, she's alright. She enjoys what I do nowadays, at least.
She must be really proud of you.
Yeah, she loves it. It's nice. She always loves coming along and that, and she enjoys coming to festivals and stuff. I mean, she's got, I've got a niece and a nephew who are like 13 and 12, I think. I'm terrible with ages, but they're quite old, so they're getting on. Not getting on, they're getting older now.
So they're just waiting. They're like, yes.
They're waiting.
List.
Wait, I think my niece is definitely waiting to the point when she can come to a rave. She's ready for it.
Are you like, oh no, I don't want you to come be in charge of you?
Yeah. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun when she can really come though. I think we're actually doing Leeds Festival this year, which is where I can fetch family, so that should be fun. And it's not far from home.
Music speaks to the soul in funny ways, and it's like
post on your Facebook page that you have some incredible shows coming up this year and you're feeling really blessed. Like what, obviously Leeds Festival, what other gigs, if you're allowed to say, are coming up that you're excited about?
Some really good ones like in Europe. I've got like lots of good festivals and stuff. It's just like the whole sort of, just everything what I'm doing just all together is just like what I'm happy about, you know. There's some shows that I can't say anything about, which I'm really excited about doing, which will be like quite good. It'll be quite fun to announce them. But they're just like, there's so much that we're working at and that I'm working towards, like, so there's just a lot to be excited about.
So you also said on that tweet, Facebook post and tweet, it was a screen grab, like the music that you're making now is some of the music you're most happy with that you've made in a long time. Like, what is it about the flow that you're in right now and the music you're making is keeping you so satisfied? Just
very much for me, again. There's no, I mean, it normally is, but, you know, sometimes you get down a path where you just like, it can take a while to sort of make something that I'm really happy with, but at the minute it's just flowing and I'm just like really happy with where the sound's going. I feel like I've found somewhere that I want to take my sound a bit again, which is always it's nice because I don't just want to keep repeating myself. It has to sort of be heading somewhere.
You've got a new EP coming out today, actually, which is the 5th of April when we're recording, and this interview is going to be coming out in at the end of April. So it's called Northbridge, and it's 4 tracks. How would you describe it, actually?
Just an alternate mix. I'll just use the same parts, and I mean, titling tracks as well. It just becomes like, it means nothing to an extent. They were based on similar parts of tunes, so I was just like, right, it just works to do with alternate mixes, and it gives like, I don't know, I just like doing stuff like that. It's
nice as well though, because in the press release for the EP you say that Truffle, which is a great track, is influenced by 2 places close to your heart, and there's a Doncaster mix and an Amsterdam mix, and I think that's a really nice personal touch on there.
It's kind of stuff that I don't really realise. I don't make it with it in mind all the time, but then when it sort of comes to the end, sort of like me putting it together is in terms of like as a package, and then I can, like, when I've used the same parts, I'm like, right, that kind of sounds like it could be an alternative version of that, and that sounds more in that sort of sense, like I say, because like the damn mix is a bit more wonky and a bit trippier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that one's a damn mix, and the Don mix is more industrial. So that's why that represents like Doncaster.
And then we've got natural unrefined. Is that because you were using some sugar when you were in your tea when you were making the track, or what?
Oh, it's actually to do with papers. Like it's the gum on natural unrefined gum that you find on like raw papers.
And Northbridge?
Northbridge is where the logo, like the club, which is the logo, Doncaster Warehouse. That's the bridge that it's on in Doncaster.
When you said your sound is evolving into something that you're really excited about and you feel good about, is this EP, does it represent that?
Yeah, but it changes like it'll keep evolving, but that's definitely, that EP is more in line with what everything else sounds. It's just like refining, it's kind of like refining the ideas, maybe what I've had before, and then I'll hit a point where I've made the version of that sort of idea that I'm most happy with, and then I'll sort of start changing what I want to work and what I'm trying to aim towards a bit more.
So tell me about your setup that you've got in your studio right now. It must be pretty good if you've got such a good creative flow. Did you like change anything in your studio lately? Is that something to do with the flow?
It's just been building up over, well, ever since I started it. I've been invested a lot of it lately. I bought a Circle-On, which is a sequencer, which makes it really easy for me to sort of make all my machines speak to each other without having to turn a computer on, so I can start laying down tracks and like pretty well sculpted tracks without really turning the computer on. Then I can record it in and do whatever editing, adding and subtracting that I want to do. But it's just really good for creating sort of what I want to do, which is it's based around like strong grooves and stuff like that, and good melodies. Not like, it's not complex chords, it's not stuff like that. It's just to bang a club quite. Like, and when I start dancing enough, it's kind of when it's right.
You described your background that music was what was guiding you rather than like anybody else around you to kind of influence you. Like when you're talking about chords and stuff, like did you have a keyboard? Like what's your musical? That's why I don't do it. I've got zero musical knowledge. I've figured stuff out, but I've got no sort of like no concept really of how to read music or even like to name chords, like, or anything like that. It's just all by ear and by emotion and by how it makes me feel and by how. And I use a lot about how I DJ, because it's more about, I come from it as a DJ more than anything. I don't come as a musician. I've never really called myself a musician or thought of myself as one. I've always seen it more as like a production role. Not even production role. I've never tried to have a term on it. Stuff. I've always thought of myself more first off as a DJ, and that's just always been how I see it. It's like it's more about figuring out how sound affects people for me than any sort of rules or structures or stuff. I'm not really interested in rules. They don't serve me. So you don't use mixed in key or anything like that?
No, I'm not interested in mixed in key at all. I've never been bothered about that. If I do a mix and for whatever reason it clashes, then I'll get out of it, I'll EQ it out or whatever. But most of the time I know what's going to work or when it's not going to work. Mixed in keys, just like for me, it's a rule. It's something that's given me a predefined way of how I should technically be doing it, and then if I adhere to that, then I'm following someone else's rules on how it should be worked, and it just doesn't really matter to me.
So was this a theme like in other areas of your life, like rules are frustrating and they're to be broken?
Yeah, I'm just not very good at being told what to do.
So how was school for you then?
I was all right at school. I could just do it. So, and I never cared too much about it. I mean, whether that's it could be to my detriment or whatever. I'm where I am now, and I've always done all right at education, but being told what to do doesn't interest me like that. I quite like to just figure stuff out a bit, unless someone can engage me. With the teachers and stuff that I got on with, I think it let me sort of breathe and let me do my thing, especially like with my art teacher and stuff. That's why I did all right there. it works, but like, yeah, rules, I'm just not that interested.
Do you still draw?
Every now and then I'll pick up a pen or a piece of paper and I'll like squiggle something, but not properly.
So we got to the point where you getting interested in dance music culture, and you said you didn't have mentors around you or anyone to show you what to do, and now you've got this amazing studio that's giving you all this creative love. What was the step then from, your mates coming back from uni, they brought decks back and you went, oh right, okay, and then started DJing, got your own decks. What happened then? How did you go from that point to your first release?
We hung around in some clubs which played a mixture of sort of Manchester stuff. So you'd have the guys who were a bit more bandy who'd be into that, and then you'd have playing housey stuff and stuff like that, especially on Saturday. So I used to really enjoy that bit. So that little bit of musical education was there as well. Then when my friends were using decks, I got on decks. It took me a while to really get confidence enough to even sort of try and get sets anywhere. Started playing that a bit, and then my friends started getting into the idea of DJing, but they also were a lot more computer minded than me, so they picked up a copy of Reason and just started making beats on it. And I just because I'd sort of were just out and about a bit more and just into, I just sort of were around dance music culture a bit more. We just started working together and started making ideas, and then we put out some records together as Mr. Men.
So that was garage and bassline. And when you say you were around dance music culture more than them, was it they had a copy of Reason, but you knew what it needed to sound like? They just had the gear.
They knew. They were more interested in drum and bass than that. But realistically, I was more interested in I was interested in a lot of early sort of dubstep and stuff 06, 07 times where it was big weight times. But that's probably it. That sort of stuff, but I was just out in the clubs a bit more, I was out at baseline raves as well, and Sarah, who's my manager, who's my fiance, she was heavy to baseline and stuff, so that rubbed off on me a bit more as well, and then I sort of took that into the studio with them a bit more. I play to what the room feels like it can take, you know, based off of just how they're reacting to music and stuff, more than anything. I'm not, you know, if a promoter is not happy with me playing one certain tune or one certain type of music, again, it's like it's not really my problem. I'm booked as a DJ to come and play music, and if I fit, you know, I'm not saying every choice that I make is always going to be right, but I feel like I've just got to play what I want to play when I want to play it, as the moment takes me, you know.
Last year, I mean, and this year, it's been pretty crazy. You just put out a BBC Essential mix. How did you feel when you got the call? Like, we want you to do this. Was that something that you've really been hoping for?
Yeah, I mean, that was like a big one for me. That was just like saying that I'm a DJ, essentially. That were like an official, like, bang, label, that's your CV, you are a DJ, you can call yourself a DJ, and no one can sort of deny what you do as being a DJ, you know? Because it's the biggest mix you can do, essentially.
How much planning went into it?
Yeah, quite. It took quite a lot. I mean, I spent a lot of time like getting tunes together, and then I give myself like a couple of weeks maybe to record it, and then I had a folder of tunes, and I realised I was like, there were like 500 tunes still in this folder, and I was like, how do I even start to make sense of that?
So how did you?
I just started mixing, and I just started chopping parts together and just like trying different flows, trying to, you know, it was hard as well because I wanted to make sure that it represented quite a lot because it's an essential mix and it's not a club mix. There's never a time when I just play pretty much just one sort of flat idea. No matter where I am, pretty much, like, you can always add little bits and different energies everywhere. It doesn't have to just, you know, rather than just saying, right, I play tech out, like if someone plays tech house, whatever, it's like, right, cool, it's just going to sound like that for 2 hours. But with an essential mix, I just wanted to make sure that it kept people engaged and people could go back and have a listen to it and still be like excited by it and have some actual sort of song sort of vibes in there as well.
Yeah, well, you like started with Brian Eno and then went to Joy Division and then Sade, which is like, it's pretty cool.
I listen to it like, you know, quite a bit anyway because it's just nice music to sort of have on. Joy Division I'm a massive fan of, and then Sade, that Kenny Larkin remix is just insane. So I just all fell together, and then after that, you know, it all just came together, and it was similar to like the way I were live. Just as I get to that point where I'm like, right, cool, I've maybe been at this idea for long enough now, I'll start to change it.
And your label, Warehouse Music, also won Best Breakthrough Label at the DJ Mag Awards. Yeah, what went through your head when that happened?
It was just amazing. Yeah, I did that. It's amazing. I mean, it's sick, you know, getting recognition, especially because it was voted for by fans and stuff. So it just meant like I had fans and people who were behind me, it's always nice to know, you know, that people are supporting what you're doing, especially when it's all my music. I remember at the actual, when I got handed that award, like live on TV, everyone had been giving speeches, and I was like, yeah, cheers, nice one. I just kind of walked off like.
Why did you do that? I'm
just not like, I was like, thank you, because I don't have much to say. Like, it's just the music. That's, you know, that's kind of what it is. It's like, yeah, thank you, big up. Like, I'm glad you like the music. I didn't want to stand there and like.
Thank you, Mum.
Yeah, over talk. It's just over talking about it. It's just like, thank you. Now, I appreciate that, but I've got, you know, I just want to move on and keep making, try to do the best that I can do, and just keep pushing myself, and rather than giving myself pats on back.
been releasing with Mr. Men, and then you went off solo as Mella Dee. What was the thing that made you leave, and how did they feel about it?
Fine, really, you know. We were all doing our own things all the time anyway. There were never sort of this thing where we had to be doing what we were doing together. It was never too serious, so it never really mattered. We were doing it because we enjoyed doing it. We played all over, like, and we had good fun, but I'd started releasing music as Mella Dee whilst we were with Mr. Men still, and John, he was releasing music as Woozy anyway, so that was never a problem.
And travelling now to gigs, you know, you're on the road a lot. Like, do you remember being on the road with them, and do you miss having your mates around you, or do you prefer being on your own on the road now?
The travelling then, to be honest with you, were more like me driving cars up and down the country anyway, like, and driving to a gig in Birmingham or whatever and playing there till 4 in the morning and getting back home and having to get up for work. Well, not particularly. I don't it's not like there's not like fun times of travelling together, like, you know, chilled out and stuff. But I'm fine being on my own. It can get a bit brutal sometimes, but I'm alright, you know. It don't matter as long as I get to go and have good gigs, and, you know, that energy sort of gets you through it all.
And you share this journey with your fiance, who's also your manager.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. Like, how do you have to say at certain points when you're at home, like, okay, no business talk? Like, how do you separate your personal life and your professional life?
I mean, it's hard. It's not very separate. Like, there is. That's all they do. I mean, if there's a point in it where I'm just like, right, don't talk to me like my manager right now, cool, and that's about it, you know. So that can be sort of said, but it's amazing that we get to do it together. It's hard because we're both a bit so busy. Like, she's off this weekend with another, like, someone else that she works with. So she's off this weekend, then I'm away this weekend, then I have to go away at the start of the week, so I won't see her from like now till next Wednesday. So stuff like that is hard in the industry, but at least, you know, we both know what we're doing and we know everyone that we're involved with, and it's like all our friends are the same sort of groups and stuff, so it works amazing like that.
She manages Annie Mac, right?
Yeah, well, she's involved, like, she's part of Annie Mac's management team. She runs the like festivals and events and that with him and stuff, and then she also does Dennis Sauter.
So with your label, you're running that together with Sarah, right?
Yeah.
What kind of a team do you have for the label? So there's you guys, it's your music, and then you've got an EP coming out soon with Spencer Parker, right? But everything else has been you up to this point.
Yeah. Apart from Northern Jams, which is a collaboration with me and a friend, which is going to be turning into something else, but there's going to be a lot of music coming from that. But yeah, I A&R it, but like I said, it's not a problem because I'm not A&R in it like a typical label. Like, I'm not really looking for demos and stuff. It's mainly done as an outlet for my music, just because I make quite a lot of music. And then Sarah basically just runs it all, and then she does that mainly with Lobster Ferryman, who are my distributors. Mm-hmm. So, you know, they just sort of get it out to the shops and stuff and that, but we decide what it, like, when stuff goes live. As soon as I've decided that I want to send something off the mastering, we can send it off the mastering and just get going with it.
So essentially you get to focus purely on the music, and then Sarah and your distributor take care of the rest.
Yeah.
So you're not part of like the marketing process?
I'm part of everything. Even that's the thing with like stuff with how it works with me and Sarah especially, is like, on the outside, it's, you know, I'm quite silent because I'm not interested in having meetings. I'm not interested in email chains and threads and stuff. It's, again, I'd rather just concentrate on the music sort of side of things. But obviously, we're discussing everything, and, you know, I've got input on things, and I have like say so's and stuff of whether I agree with something going or not. So we work together on sort of anything marketing wise, or just basically everything. It's all just a joint decision.
That's awesome. And so this Spencer Parker EP, when's that coming out?
We've got the masters back, so it's probably like 8 weeks or something, maybe a little bit less. Not sure.
How come after having just released your own music, you decided to put Spencer's EP out?
Spencer just sent me the tune, and we just said, "Do you want it?" And I really like Spencer. The tune was really cool. I really liked it. I'd said, yeah, he didn't have like other tunes to go with it, and then I was like, well, how about I do a mix? And then Spencer did a little dub mix, like just an alternative sort of more Tool mix, and it sounds good. And like I say, I like Spencer and I like his music and I respect him, so it's nice to be able to put his music out.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had him on the podcast actually. What about releasing any more records under your birth name?
It's always ongoing, like you never know whether I will do stuff like that again, but more time when I do it, like when I've done other releases as well, I struggle with like trying to put different stuff into different boxes. Like I'm always just come back to just thinking I might as well just be Mella Dee. Like I've been Mella Dee in that sense for a long time. I've done a varied amount of music anyway, so it's just basically more likely if there was something where I wanted to get some music out, or I just had some music that way, maybe I just thought it's not quite Mella Dee, I'll use like another name for it. And if something's maybe, I don't know, extremely hard, I'd put it out as Ryan Aitchison possibly. But there's no like set plans. It's just write music, and in the minute I'm just like very focused and just keep like releasing Mella Dee music.
Like you said, you might just put it all under one alias, and from things that you've said in other interviews and also in this interview, like there's definitely like this feeling of you having a really clear vision of not wanting to be told what to do, and a clear vision of what you want, and not following trends. How do you maintain that confidence in like an industry which is so competitive, to kind of really stick to your guns and also to switch, direction? Heard you say that if something's becoming popular, then you'll just like turn the other way creatively from it.
Yeah, if I feel like someone's trying, it's just like if you keep hearing that sound. Normally by the time that's happened anyway, I've probably started flirting with a new idea anyway. Not, never, especially now more so. Never, it's not going to be like dramatically completely different sort of sounds probably, but there's just going to be like a different idea built into that sound. But in terms of like how do I stay confident to do it, it's like I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm not really interested in what other people think. I don't do it to market it. I don't make music to please anybody else. I do it to please myself. So it's all I can really do. Like, I won't make music unless I'm enjoying it, and what comes out of me will not be anything apart from what comes out of me at the time and what I want to do. And I can only ever capture that. I've never really been like, I might get an idea that's inspired from a certain sort of sound, say, but it's very hard for me to sit down and be like, oh, right now I'm going to make this tune and it's going to sound like this. It's just going to sound how it sounds, and depending on how I feel in that time of writing it, it'll depend whether it gets recorded, and it'll change how it ends and what it sounds like. And then if I feel happy with it, I'll put it out. Like, it's what other people's opinions are of it it's irrelevant to me, like, essentially. Like, I like people liking stuff, and I'm happy when people play it, but I've just got to square it with myself first, that's it.
How long has Sarah been your manager?
Quite a long time. Yeah, probably as long as I've been doing it, really. Like, ever since she sort of started taking interest, probably because she was going to university and stuff, and she used to like run like a wedding event shop company and that. So she's just good. She's just really good at sort of talking to people, emailing, dealing with stuff like that, and she doesn't take any shit either. So she just sort of started taking on emails and stuff like that from probably, maybe not from Mr. Time, but definitely from like early Mella Dee stuff. She was involved in doing stuff. I can trust her to talk to people and to do things on my behalf.
So you always had someone in that sense, like guiding you through the jungle that can be the music industry, so that you can focus and be headstrong within your own art and be named Mixmag Star of the Year for 2018, for example. So it's obviously working, your concoction mixture.
Yeah, it definitely works more now. You know, she'll just go out and do it, because I'm very much like, I mean, you see my attitude always is it's a bit like, I'm just going to do what I do. So she's really good at like trying to be like, right, cool, but we need this and that, and I need to do this and that, and I'm going to do this with this person and stuff, and all the stuff that makes it sort of run a bit smoother and a bit better. And like I say, she's got my best interest at art, and she's in love with the music, you know, like she loves music as much as anyone, so she's 100% committed to it.
well, you're also doing label nights.
Yeah, we've done the all-nighters, which are Warehouse Music Presents sort of thing. However long the club's open for that night.
How do you maintain your stamina through a long set? Like, are they 6 hours, 7 hours? How long are these sets?
5, 6, 7, yeah. So, I think shortest one's maybe 4, maybe in Scotland, just because of their licensing. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. It's tiring, especially when you're doing back-to-back. I get to go to a club, I get to put some music on loud, and I get to listen. It's just music that I like quite loud.
That's your job,
Yeah.
playing music that you like quite loud.
Yeah.
The definition of a DJ.
Yeah, exactly.
And these nights that you're going to be putting on as part of the Warehouse brand, like you're going to be inviting people on board, so it's not just going to be you playing. Like, what kind of artists can we expect to hear at these nights? Boomtown,
that festival. I'm doing a festival stage at Boomtown. I can say the lineup on that one.
Cool.
That's like DJ Bone, Shanty Celeste, CC Disco, Baba Stilts, Sally C. That's Dr. Rubenstein. So, that's something. It's quite a varied sort of little vibe, but just music that I like, just DJs that I like who I think can play interesting music. It feels like it's about the music, I mean, I'm not bothered. I just can't be. I'm not interested in people who just want to be famous, basically. So I'm not that everyone is like that, but you've got. It's like there's a lot of shit out there. People that I get on with, people that are just doing something that's quite interesting, as much as I, rather than just like playing it sort of safe or running the mill shit.
So with this new sound that you're really excited about, can we expect an album?
At some point, there's probably going to be an album, yeah, but I don't know when. And it's been more and more sort of discussed lately, and just people sort of asking me if I were going to do one and just saying that I should do one. It's just a case of me figuring out how to make something that has a point being an album. Because I enjoy doing EPs, it's fun. I can just sort of do a batch of tracks and then go on to the next idea for a bit. But I'm starting to think of like even like the way that my room's going to start being working and setting up and stuff. The idea of recording more stuff is to do a bigger project.
Recording more stuff, analog stuff, or
just like the way just recording more. Just really like flows, and I could just record a lot and then just take that and sort of turn it into something.
Well, it sounds pretty special. So I'm sure all of the Beatport listeners are very excited. I'm looking forward to hearing it. Yeah, it's been really interesting chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you want to mention to the Beatport listeners?
I'm the worst at that. Sarah will probably be shouting it, like she'll be listening back and shouting and be like, "Yeah, you should have said this, you should have said that." It's been good to chat.
I have to say, respect to Sarah. She's doing a good job, obviously.
If we don't have Sarah, the rails will probably derail quite quickly.
Well, we'll dedicate this podcast to Sarah then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Beatport podcast.